Good morning, wrestling fans. It is 5 o'clock, and it's Sunday, March 19th, 2017. And I'm welcoming you to Pillar to Post, and welcome to the Family Laundry Room. What I'd like you to do first is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that like button. Help my channel grow. If you enjoy the content, I'm going to keep on bringing you as much as I can. Now, it's another night where insomnia has afflicted me once again. So I'm going with 2 hours of sleep, and the rest of the night's been wide open. So I've been busy surfing the web, making sure I can bring content to my channel. There's a lot of news to cover, I guess. Some news is apparent. Some news is, news is news. That's all I'm going to say about it. We've got some Rebby and Hardy news. We've got just way too much for me to list off right off the hop. Not all of it is major news, but it is news that we can talk about. So, how about we get started? We're going to get right into the TNA versus the Hardys. Now, Rebby Hardy first went hard after TNA over the company sending threatening legal letters to Matt and Jeff over the use of the Broken and Brother Nero gimmicks outside of the promotion. Later, she got after them again for spooky letters and trying to screw Ring of Honor and ruin wrestling for fans. This week, she's back with an update on the latest and the ongoing legal battle between the two sides. And if you haven't known, or if you're not following Rebby Hardy, she also came out with a t-shirt. That t-shirt reads, #FuckThatOwl. And it's got the octagon-shaped ring, or the six-sided ring. And underneath it's Fuck That Owl. It has Hardy, and then underneath it's Broken. Beautiful design. I love what she's doing. She's really sticking it to TNA. They want to be a bunch of douchebags, a bunch of knuckle-dragging window lickers. Give it to them. Give it fucking to them. So, these are straight off of Rebby Hardy's Twitter. So, this is the first one. Update. TNA sent an absolutely laughable legal proposal. RE, trademark usage and ownership. And then she ends it with a sigh. We tried to play nice. Truly. Oh well. And she follows that up with, excuse me, they also seem real hurt about #FuckThatOwl. Aw, thou cute. Fun facts, Senior Benjamin never signed one piece of paper stating TNA could ever use, broadcast, or profit from his image or likeness. She goes on, fun facts, Maxwell was never legally cleared to work or appear on camera. Want to check them TV child labor laws and get back to me, TNA, ? Like, she's right on the fucking ball with her comments. She continues, fun facts. Nearly every notable attribute that makes #Broken Matt Hardy, was developed by me in a Waffle House. Yummy. And she goes on, fun facts, trying to prevent someone from legally making money is torturous interference of business and a huge offense. How about that, CND? And she continues, fun facts, I filed for the #Broken trademark when all the shady business from JJ and Anthem got back to me weeks before his contract was up. And she ends it with, if owning my husband was that important, why not file or apply? Oh, I don't know. Before his contract was up? Before you found out I did? This is going to go on to be a complete clusterfuck of a legal battle between these two parties. I love Rebby Hardy. She sticks up for her man. She sticks up for her brother-in-law. You know, everything she says, you know, it's on par to how shit is run in TNA. I could see the same thing if the Hardys would have come up with a broken persona in WWE. WWE probably would have done the same thing on their departure. Who knows? But I don't see TNA actually winning. I see them actually. The only thing this is giving them is, and what they're benefiting from this is they are staying in the news because of Rebby Hardy. So they are getting a little bit. As for their shows, from what I've heard, they completely suck. Now, we've got a little bit of Shawn Michaels news. Shawn Michaels has been watching, and he prefers to be watching NXT and 205 Live more than any other WWE show, and what he wants to teach younger wrestlers. So, this article is from Shawn Michaels. I believe it was from the Ross Report podcast with Jim Ross. So this is how the article reads. Shawn Michaels' non-defined role in WWE developmental was a big topic of discussion when he was the guest on a recent edition of the Ross Report podcast with Jim Ross. So I was correct. Reports came out last summer saying the Hall of Famer was moving from Texas to Florida to take a job at the Performance Center in Orlando. Since then, it's been confirmed he's working there, but neither HBK or his boss, Triple H, have revealed exactly what he's doing, and it seems that's because they are still deciding and figuring it out. In talking to JR, Michael said that's still the case. Hunter and I need to sit and need to sort of decide that I want to go ahead and have a schedule and do that schedule. And honestly, as you know, I don't know that I've ever done a schedule. I haven't had a schedule or a job since I was 16 years old, for heaven's sake. But he's clearly thinking a lot about it and enjoying coaching the new talent. So much so, it influences his viewing habits. I personally haven't been able to watch too much NXT. I could probably catch a lot of it on YouTube if I wanted to. I haven't watched any of 205 Live. My biggest problem, WWE Network, you have to order through your internet provider. My problem is my internet provider does not carry WWE Network. I would have to go through Rogers or Bell, and both companies have a bad habit of ripping their customers off. You start off with a nice normal contract with them, and then all of a sudden you are getting buried under payments that are or bills that you don't have a reason to be paying. So I refuse to go back to them. Maybe eventually the internet provider I carry will actually start bringing WWE Network to their programming. Who knows? When Ross asked what WWE shows he watches, HBK told him, "I watch more NXT and 205 Live more than anything else, to be perfectly honest. I do that because, that's something that I'm interested in. I think in terms of, again, being here and being able to contribute and see what I can do, if anything, to help the younger wrestlers, that's the part that I enjoy. So clearly, if you're going to do that, you've got to know about the product, and you've got to watch it. And you've got to be informed with the talent and the people that are there. Makes sense. So what does he see that younger wrestlers in WWE pipeline need to work on? And here's something I kind of have to agree with. There are still a ton of fundamentals that sort of get jumbled up. Things move a little too fast. Things don't get sold. Things of that nature. And personally, I like Sean's chances of being able to help the next generation. Because despite being considered one of the greatest of all time, he still remembers being a hotshot kid who thought he had to work that way. He goes on to say, I tell everybody the story about Randy Savage telling me to slow down and me saying, no way. It isn't going to happen. It's the only way that I can compete with you guys. The fact that you guys don't hustle and I do is going to make the difference. And of course, once I got there, what you do is you slow down and you learn how to tell a story and learn about psychology and things of that nature. That's a part of youth. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Most people who get into wrestling at this point have been influenced by Shawn Michaels. Future WWE superstars are actually going to learn from him too. And unlike some legendary athletes who try to transition to coaching after they retire, it seems HBK has the right approach. Now, if he can just figure out that darn schedule. I agree with this last part. There's way too many of these new wrestlers coming in, and a lot of the current superstars that are already there, they don't know the psychology of the ring. They don't know the psychology of telling a story. They don't know how to tell a story inside the ring as well as outside. So maybe with the benefit of Triple H and HBK at the Performance Center, it influences these new superstars to actually go a little back in the past and bring some of that back to television, back to the ring, back to the fans. We, the fans, miss that. We miss having good, solid storylines. I know it has nothing to do with the talent. It's a lot to do with the creative. But if a lot of these wrestlers would start standing up for themselves and say, look, if we did it this way, and if you let us have a little bit leeway here, we could sell this in this area and we could sell it here, and it would make more sense. But no one's doing that. Everyone's just collecting a paycheck, doing whatever they want, following what orders they get, and there you go. And what is the product that us, the fans, have been receiving? Complete shit. Look at the WrestleMania 33 coming up. There is such a lack of storylining going on and creativity working up to the WrestleMania pay-per-view that we're left wanting. And after WrestleMania is over, we're still going to be left wanting. We, the fans, can't do anything about it, but the wrestlers themselves can do something about it. Learn from the older generation. Bring back some of the stuff that is missing from television these days, especially when it comes to wrestling. I always thought when WWF transitioned over to the WWE, when it became World Wrestling Entertainment, that inevitably we, the fans, were going to lose out because it was going to be more about the entertainment side rather than the wrestling. And you cannot have a wrestling product without wrestling. And these days we are getting at most 15-minute matches. We get a lack of the wrestlers actually selling the moves. You see a lot of them, they take a bump, they're right back up on their feet. Case in point, we've seen Braun Strowman throw Roman Reigns against the turnbuckle. The turnbuckle snapped, came back, hit Roman Reigns in the chest, and he went down on the mat. Braun Strowman, he left the ring. There was a contract signing. Now, what should have happened Roman Reigns should have been laid out. Referees, doctors, officials, they should have ran to the ring. He should have been taken out on a stretcher. Instead, what did we see? We've seen him get up, and the most he sold was he leaned against the table and he signed his contract. That should not have happened. He should have sold it. If it was an accident that the turnbuckle broke off, he should have sold it. But we don't get that these days. We don't get wrestlers selling anything, really. Now, we're going to go into a little Zack Ryder news. And Zack Ryder isn't really any news, but I kind of like what this guy does. He has a way of making sure the fans don't forget him. When he was released from WWE years ago, he came up with his own YouTube channel. He came up with a YouTube title. And he was rehired because the fans got behind him. Well, he's back at it once again. He has started a new YouTube show. And here's the article. Zack Ryder recently injured his knee during a match on SmackDown Live in December of last year. He underwent surgery just days later, and his expected recovery time was pegged at anywhere from 4 to 9 months. We're a few months into the process now, and instead of remaining silent until his return to WWE television, Ryder is resurrecting an old YouTube show to get us ready for it. Show is titled Z, True Comeback Story. The trailer for As Much As Above, though no date is given on when to expect future episodes. So he's released a trailer letting the fans know he's still around. You gotta admire the guy. He's got heart. He wants to stay active in the wrestling community so he doesn't get forgotten about. We all know he was, him and his partner Mojo Rawley were up for #1 contendership. They won the match, but his injury took that away from them. Is he going to have a tag team partner when he gets back? Well, from what I've read, Rawley is pretty happy that he's been given the opportunity to be a singles competitor, and he wants to see how far he can take that. So we'll have to see when Zack Ryder does return. We're going to switch over to Cody Rhodes and his reason for leaving WWE, as well as his opinions of Ring of Honor and more. Now, I love what Cody Rhodes has done for himself. He left WWE and he recreated himself in the wrestling business. He became the American Nightmare. So, here's the article. Cody Rhodes recently spoke with Fox News about his career and more. These are the highlights. And I only wrote down the highlights. I didn't want to go too far. So, on his decision to leave WWE, and he says, I reached a point where nothing scares me in this industry, mainly because I grew up in it. My earliest memory is 4 years old, getting in a wrestling ring. The goal of leaving was to find myself. That was his simple answer. He just wanted to find himself. He wanted to find that new character within him, and I believe he's done so. And I believe WWE is stupid if they don't want him back. Get him away from that Stardust gimmick. Get that fucking shit out of your mind and let him be the American Nightmare. Let him have a little bit more control of his character. On his decision to join Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor, and these are his words verbatim. Ring of Honor, its consistency and its tradition and the people that it turns out. I mean, it's been a factory for stars that would end up going to NXT, WWE. As the stars, they were in Ring of Honor, and its fans represent the hardest fans to please. If you're in the front of the ring if you're in front of a Ring of Honor crowd and you suck, they will let you know. This was a place for me to find out, is Cody Rhodes even worth a damn and worth all this fuss? As I got older, I realized my dreams are allowed to change. My dream in the wrestling business has changed. And it's changed a bazillion times. You can't plan it right. Question mark. It's like a really good wrestling match, if that makes sense. A really good wrestling match is one that, yeah, maybe you did plan A to Z, but within that A to Z, there's a magic that you didn't plan. And I agree. Like, the guy is going to make waves at Ring of Honor. He is going to want New Japan Pro Wrestling wanting him more. He's going to want WWE to beg him to come back. I see Cody Rhodes going a long way on his recreation of himself, rebirth of himself. More Cody Rhodes news. Nothing major, but it is news. Cody Rhodes will be returning to the television series Arrow, based on the DC comic books The Green Arrow. According to IGN.com, Cody Rhodes will be returning to the show Arrow and will reprise his role as Derek Sampson in episode 521, airing either in late April or early May. Rhodes made his first appearance on Arrow in October 2016 after leaving WWE. I've seen that episode that he was in on Arrow. Great performance. I'm actually surprised he hasn't tried venturing more into television or movies. I think he would be successful, in my honest opinion. I can't wait to see this new episode with him in it, and I hope he has more roles in the DC universe for television. Now, our next article deals with Anthem's reason for pursuing legal action against Matt Hardy. And it's probably bullshit. I read it all already, and I found it to be bullshit. But any business that let the Hardys go was not clearly thinking right. Now that they're gone, they want to find a way to hold on to a little part of them to continue making money off of their hard-earned money, their hard-earned work, their ideas. Anthem is just one of those companies. So as noted, Anthem sent a cease and desist out to pay-per-view providers in order to prevent Matt Hardy from using the broken character on Ring of Honor's 15th anniversary pay-per-view. While this mandate apparently worked for the show, Matt continued to stay in gimmick during the promo following the tag team match, as well as Twitter. As widely publicized, Rebby Hardy has been very vocal on exposing the reason behind the broken relationship between the Hardys and Anthem Impact Wrestling. Excuse me. Now, there has been new information released on why Anthem made the decision to pursue legal matters, outside of reports stating that Anthem felt that the gimmick is their intellectual property. PW Insider revealed that the primary reason that sparked the Anthem decision was Matt filing the trademark for the broken character, while he popularized it and made it one of the most fascinating characters of the past year. The loophole that Anthem is trying to present is that Matt was not the only person involved in the backstage creative process, even if the majority were his ideas. Therefore, according to Anthem's viewpoint, he should not receive full revenue for the profit that comes from that character. Of course, there has not been anything settled as of yet, and both parties are standing firm in their views. Based on Twitter posts of Rebby, it will continue to be a tug of war until one or both entities are willing to make a compromising resolution. Anthem and the company that wants to be known as Impact Wrestling need to drop it. They need to let it go. You failed to keep these guys. You had them. They were wanting to continue helping your company grow. And you failed in your attempt to keep them. Once you've seen it was too late, that's when you really tried hard to grab them. It was already too late. You fucked up your contract negotiations. So now, lay in the bed you shit in. Simple as that. Lay in the bed you shit in, because you've lost these guys. And due to this, there's no way they're going to come back to you. No fucking way. Getting a very dry mouth. I'm still a little bit on the sick side, so excuse me if I gotta stop, and if I slur my words, sorry. Johnny Mundo on wanting to wrestle the Hardys and Kenny Omega in Lucha Underground, as well as Lucha Underground on Netflix. So Ring Rust Radio interviewed Lucha Underground champion Johnny Mundo on the show this week. Lucha Underground is on a mid-season hiatus, but the company is still making news with the announcement that it will begin airing on Netflix March 15th, becoming the first sports product Netflix has launched and the first wrestling product on that platform. What does the jump to Netflix mean for a company, and how do you feel about the move as a performer? And this question was given to Johnny Mundo. And he says as follows: for me as a performer, it means more people are going to be able to see Lucha Underground Season 1 and 2. Which is awesome, because the work I've done in Lucha Underground is some of the best work I've done in my wrestling career. Netflix has around 100 million subscribers in the US alone, and in Canada. That means the potential audience now for Lucha Underground could exceed any other wrestling promotion besides the WWE. It puts us in a category where we have the potential to heat up and get really hot and build Lucha Underground into something bigger than anyone ever thought. For the network, anything I'm saying now for what it could be is just speculation, but it's kind of fun to speculate. Just so you know, there's going to be more Lucha Underground regardless. This could lead to more Lucha Underground as it's becoming a weekly show, as in an hour and a half or 2 hour show. Really, any of those things could happen. The most exciting thing for me is the idea that all those people now have the option to watch Lucha Underground and watch the full episodes. There's tons of people when I travel abroad that seek out clips on YouTube and try to watch it before they get pulled in foreign countries, where they are not supposed to be posted. The real exciting thing is that so many people will now get to watch the show that I believe in so much. I've watched actually I think I watched all season 2. I don't think I've watched any of season 3 yet. I enjoy the show. It is fucking crazy. The wrestlers are portrayed more as superheroes, and it is over the top. It is over the top of anything that's being done right now. I'm not big on the men versus women. Johnny Mundo does get into that topic on this article, but these women look tough. Like, I've seen them getting kicked hard in the legs, in the fucking ass. I've seen them being thrown through rows of chairs. These women take it. They are tough women. I've never been one to see a guy throwing around a woman. Never have been that type of guy. The article continues. Lucha Underground has already revolutionized the wrestling business in so many ways. And joining forces with Netflix is another barrier-breaking accomplishment. Apart from how important the partnership is for Lucha Underground, how do you think it might impact or change the business as a whole? Johnny Mundo answers, the entertainment business is in general and as a whole is trying to figure out exactly how and when people are consuming content nowadays. The idea of binge watching is really becoming of Netflix, and the idea that you can watch subsequent episodes all in a row, which is how I like to watch TV, he says. I remember when Stranger Things came out. If I had to watch one episode a week, I wouldn't have been nearly as into it as I was when I just sat there and watched the whole thing in like 2 days. For the wrestling industry as a whole, that idea means that more of an episodic feel could start becoming the norm with potential wrestling shows. Lucha Underground really is the first episodic professional wrestling show. There's a lot more. I'm not going to read every word he has to say about it. I'm going to pick out pieces and go from there, because I could probably do a whole show just on what he says. Ever since joining Lucha Underground, I feel like this is the question being posed to him, I feel like you've taken every aspect of your game to the next level, from your in-ring work, mic work, and character. Do you feel the past few years have been the best of your career, or does another time period stand out for you? And Johnny Mundo responds, you nailed it. It's all those things. The idea of leveling up my athletic moveset, so to speak, but there's also the intangibles, like my mic work. A big part of why I feel like the mic work has improved so much is the schedule with Lucha Underground. I have a lot more time to do the things I want to do now. I've been spending quite a bit of time writing, acting, and making films. Because I'm doing all this extra writing, acting, and creating short comedy skits with my friends in improv shows, I feel like that's really filled out my confidence on the mic. My mic work I never really thought was super lacking, but has been a perceived weakness of mine since my run in WWE. As someone who wrestled Sexy Star to win the championship and wrestled alongside Taya, what do you say to the critics who continue to complain about the intergender wrestling in Lucha Underground? And this is one of the topics I have a problem with. To me, it just does not look credible when a woman half the size of any man, and I'm not saying this isn't possible. There are some pretty tough women out there. But when you're watching Lucha Underground, and some of these women, the size they are, they're doing knife edge chops. They're doing hurricane ranas. They are a fraction of the weight what their male opponent is. And I am pretty damn sure if I had some women jump up on my shoulders to do a hurricane rana, I would simply do a sit-out powerbomb. Done. So a lot of it just doesn't look believable. To win a title from a woman, it's not plausible to me. But this is what he has to say about it. In Lucha Underground, wrestlers are treated like superheroes. To the critics who are complaining about the intergender wrestling matches, I think those people should talk to the female wrestlers like Taya, Sexy Star, Ivelisse, and Mariposa. Those women are talented and powerful women who have trained their entire lives to participate in the sport of professional wrestling. They love being in the ring with the top performers, and they don't see it as an intergender match. They see it as two characters competing in the ring. So for people who are trying to criticize that, I think there's been a bit myopic about what professional wrestling is. We're looking at ourselves as larger than life characters. So yeah, they are taking that into their show. The larger than life superheroes like WWE or WWF did back in the day. But it just looks wrong. I'm sorry. I could not ever see myself picking up a woman and throwing her through aisle after aisle of chair. I do not see myself torturing a woman. Now, this is the end of the interview, and this has to do with the Hardy Boys, Kenny Omega, and a lot of talent that has been released as of late. Lately, a lot of big name talent has been hitting the free agent market in the wrestling world, with the Hardy Boys standing out as the biggest example. Is there anyone out there that you'd like to see Lucha Underground go after? Anyone you'd like to mix it up with or think could have a positive impact on the product? Johnny Mundo follows this answer up with, it's tough to pick any one person because the Lucha Underground roster is so deep already. I think with Rey Mysterio, PJ Black, Pentagon, Phoenix, Jack Evans, and Angelico, the roster that we have now is so deep. I don't know if we need any specific star to help Lucha. As far as people that I would like to see in Lucha Underground just to wrestle them, I've always been a big fan of the Hardy Boys. I had great matches with Jeff and Matt. Kenny Omega, a lot of the New Japan guys would be cool. Ethan Carter, ACH. There's so much good talent out there that any of them would be cool because I would get to have a match with them in Lucha. I don't really know if any of those guys are free agents though. I don't know if they signed somewhere by now or what they plan on doing. I don't think we plan to tape season 4 until the fall, so it really is all about speculation for now. We all know back in the M&M days with Johnny Nitro, Melina, and Joey Mercury, they faced the Hardy Boys numerous times. All of them were top-notch matches. I enjoyed them. These guys would be awesome on Lucha Underground. The broken gimmick would work on Lucha Underground because it is out there. It is, beyond space and time, like Matt Hardy likes to say. So it would fit with the product. But I would rather have them in WWE and actually building up the tag team division and making WWE better for us viewers. But all in all, it's a straightforward interview. Not much you can say about it. This is going to deal with the Big Show. Big Show says WWE is still trying to make Shaq a match at WrestleMania 33. What do you think about this? No one cares. No one cares. I would like to have Big Show have a good match at WrestleMania. I would. But is it Shaquille O'Neal? No. It would have to be someone better. I would like to see him rematch against Braun Strowman. They had a great match together. I think it could have been better. I think maybe on the grandest stage of them all, it could be really good. But WWE has its ways. So WWE announced this past week on Monday Night Raw that Big Show would be participating in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 33 on Sunday, April 2nd, 2017. At the Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida. The assumption then is the previously planned match with NBA great Shaquille O'Neal was scrapped. Maybe not. And this is from his interview with Psy.com. I want to do this match. It certainly isn't on me. I'm serious and dedicated. Whether Shaq has other obligations or business, that's on him. As far as I know, we're still trying to make Princess Shaq happy so we can move forward with the match at WrestleMania. I have a lot of respect for Shaq. He's one of the greatest NBA centers of all time. But here's the thing, and I say this with all humility, I'm one of the greatest big men ever in the WWE, and I do have to agree. When it comes to giants in WWE, the Big Show has proven to be the most powerful. He's been the most agile out of all of them. Maybe he's got a little bit of competition now with Braun Strowman, but I'm talking before Strowman came in. He has been one of the best big men. He's got the power. He's got speed for his size. It is just unimaginable. You know, the guy has had great matches. He goes on to say, I'm giving Shaq the opportunity to showcase himself at our biggest event of the year. He is an entertainer, and he is an attraction, and he is a heck of an athlete. But he's hemming and hawing, saying it's somebody else's fault. If you want to do this, come do this. This is something where Shaq saw how great of shape I was in, and he decided to back out. That's a personal thing on Shaq. Rumors suggest the issue could be financial as opposed to any of the trash Big Show has been talking. Either way, it's a close enough to Showtime it seems unlikely the match will be happening. Even if WWE is still trying to make Shaq happy, I believe it might be a little bit too late. In my opinion, might be a little bit too late. As fans, though, we really don't want to see this match. There's no reason for it. He could do a lot more with someone else. You know, continue this giant versus giant feud with Braun Strowman. He needs something to do at WrestleMania. Why not? I've been mentioning things about Sean Waltman, or X-Pac as he's known for, over the last couple of podcasts I've done. Comments he's made about this isn't the 80s, why does Roman need to make a heel turn, so on and so forth. So this is Sean Waltman on why it's hard to be a heel in today's wrestling. And in an interview with the Tomorrow Show with Kevin Undergaro, Sean Waltman talked about why it is so hard to be a heel today. And I've just grabbed the highlights from this interview, so I'm going to go with the highlights. On how hard it really is to be a heel, he goes on to say, I'm going to tell you the only danger for me was all that negative energy that comes at you when you're a heel. From the people. Yes, it gets to you when you're somebody like me. It gets to you. When you have like 20,000 people all telling you you suck. And even when you're leaving the building and the fucking show's over, and you got your kids with you and they are going you, he doesn't make a lot of sense here. And they are going you fucking piece of shit. Oh, they are calling him fucking piece of shit. Fuck this. Fuck you. Calling you everything in front of your kids. The guy must have been high. And people can say, oh, words. They're just words. Fucking words are more powerful than the sword. Sometimes I don't care what anyone says. Too many drugs in this guy's life for fucking sure. On why we don't have heels today the way we used to. They don't get real heat anymore, he says to the interviewer. They're afraid they don't want that kind of heat on their show anymore. It's different now. There are no real heels. We don't want that much heat. We don't want that kind of heat where riots happen, shit like that. We don't want that anymore. It's different. They knew it was scripted when we were doing NWO, and we had riots in the crowd against each other just because one part of the crowd liked WCW. But it made for entertaining television. We don't get that these days. He goes on why Roman Reigns should not go full-blown heel. Roman Reigns, when he comes out, he gets that reaction that's different than 99% of the other people on the roster. It's different. And might be some boos in there. Some. But it's just at a different magnitude. Why do we need to all of a sudden go, okay, now he's a heel? Why can't he just start being or acting a little heel-ish? That's what he's doing. So many people are stuck on, well, he needs to turn heel. Why does somebody have to officially turn? It's not 1980. No, it's not 1980, but 1980, 1990 was great television in the wrestling industry. Now you have all these people floating in the grays of we're heel or we're face, and it makes no sense. The fans don't know who to properly cheer for or who to properly boo. And you see that at live events a lot. The crowd is either dead or there's not much reaction from them anymore. You need to clear cut, he's heel, he's face. Leave it at that. As for Roman Reigns, he needs to go heel, and he needs to go heel in a big way. Coming up to his match against Undertaker at WrestleMania 33, that son of a bitch needs to take it to the point where the fans actually boo him for the right reason. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Now, Ty Dillinger explains why he did not join Sanity. Why he decided not to join Sanity would be this reason here that he gives. And this is going to be the last article I read today. I don't believe in their way of thinking. Eric Young has a certain set of values. And I'm surprised that he found 3 other people that shared those same values and that same vision. I just don't. I don't believe in the eradicating people that stand in your way. I don't believe in if you don't get your way, you force your way. I believe in competition. I believe in the better man wins. I believe that if you hang on long enough, something good is going to happen. So when the opportunity to join them came to light, it was a very easy decision to say no, based on those principles alone. So there is your reason why Ty Dillinger is not a part of Sanity. I'd probably go into the articles a little bit more, but like I said, it's almost 6 in the morning now. I really don't want to wake up the family. I do plan on doing some shows later in the afternoon when they're all awake, so I can be a little bit more vocal, a little bit more into the articles. But it is news for you. It is content. I hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to hit that like, hit that subscription box, and help my channel grow. Thank you very much, and you have yourselves a great Sunday. And I will see you tomorrow after Monday Night Raw with my results, reactions, and review of Monday Night Raw. Hopefully, we get a great show. I pray for that all the time.